Okay, so back to our riddle. How do you make your kitchen greener without adding plants or veggies? Well, believe it or not, it just starts with a food label. That's how easy it is. Let's find out more from our nutrition insiders.
With reference to what we're talking about now with the environment and such, one of the things is seeing where they come from. It'll give you where the food comes from. And the further it comes from, the more footprint you have, the more carbon footprint as well. So that's one of the things you can look at. Other things that are important is to see what it says. Is it natural? Nowadays, people love to see the word natural. Natural has no meaning to us at this point because natural can mean almost anything.
So what should we look out for?
We should look for what the ingredients are. What are those ingredients that are in there? What, you know, in what order they're coming from? Are they, you know, what are you buying? You read on the label that you want lychees. Well, obviously the first ingredient should be lychee. If it has water, sugar, and then lychee, you know that you got 50% water, the next amount of the food of the item is going to be sugar, and then you get some lychee. So those are the things. But for our topic today, I guess the most important thing is to see where it's coming from. Is it from here? Is it from Indonesia? You know, the further it comes from.
And Angie, I think labels are changing, right? They've changed it, made it a little bit more bolder and
They're
bigger.
updating them. Some of you'll see both. You'll see the older one and the newer one. I believe they keep changing the date. I believe it's January of 2020. So coming up very soon, all the labels will be the new format. And we've shown it a couple times on the show. Maybe we can do another. We'll do that next, right? Maybe next month or the month after we'll show the new label. And it's just kind of accentuating the calories and the serving size is a little bit bigger. And they're looking at some nutrients like vitamins A and D and potassium, which before we didn't really see, and calcium in terms of the percents. So those are some of the different things, but always that label is for your information. So look at the labels. Sometimes we pick things off the, you know, we kind of say, oh, low fat, low salt, something like that, and we say, oh, we take it for granted, or no sugar added, but what's really in the product? Like Terry was saying, is the first ingredient water and then some sugar, and then they have the fruit? That's not really what you want. You want to look for something that has fruit first. Or maybe buy less packaged items, buy more, like we're saying, locally from your farms and your different farmers markets, and that way you know you're getting definitely the real food.
I remember Angie on a show, and I just want to tell our viewers this because I think everybody should know this because a lot of people like salt, especially Hispanics.
Yes.
You know, they put salt on everything. I grew up with salt everywhere, and you taught me in the label to look for what percentage? Less than?
20%.
Less than 20%. So there's a little tip in case you like salt, find something that's less than 20% and it's not too bad. Anything above that?
Don't do it.
Delete. What about genetically modified? Is that going to be on a label ever?
It is on the label.
It is on the label.
It is on the label.
And what does that mean when you see genetically modified?
Well, it means that that specific item, so if it's a grain, that grain has been altered in some way. And it's usually done for the purpose of having the ability to grow much faster, hardier, against like bacteria and stuff like that. So
For preservation.
Right. So that's what the genetically modified organism is what it means. So we have to be careful though, because just because it says non-GMO on the bottom, if it hasn't been certified, we can't be sure.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So make sure you see that.
Yeah.
All right, I have to hone in on that one. So much to remember. I do want to take a moment to remind our viewers, and we want you to remember this, our phone number, toll-free number, 855-796-4475. Give us a call, just like Armando did. We would love to hear from you. Another thing that we're hearing a lot of is farm to table. It's like a big buzzword that restaurants are really capitalizing on. How do we know when we go to a restaurant that we're really getting that farm to table, and explain what it means, Angie? Look
question.
at Angie.
Sometimes you don't know. It'll say farm to table restaurant. You'll be like, oh, this is so cool, right? We're eating from the farm. You just have to be aware of what is really on the menu. So you can ask questions. Is this locally sourced? Where does this, I don't know, lettuce come from? Where is this fish raised, or where is it chosen, listen to me, where is it fished, right? So asking those questions. If the waiter doesn't know, have them go back and find out, and then bring you the information. And maybe even do some research online before you go to that restaurant, just to make sure, is it really legit, or is it just this new trendy thing that we're reading about and seeing about all over Instagram and Facebook and whatnot? Farm to table, yeah, it sounds great, but is it real? So we don't want to be, falling into the trends, and then they're like sometimes gimmicks, although there is definitely a good, if it's truly farm to table, it's going to be more of what we call the fresh and locally harvested, which is what we want. That's the goal.
So if we see a veggie, for example, that we know know it's out of season, do we ask, hey, where'd you get it?
Where'd you get it from?
Where'd you get the
How far
broccoli,
did-
huh?
yeah.
Huh?
Where'd it come from?
So think of it, and so to that point, if you do enjoy asparagus, it's not going to be local, and it doesn't mean that it isn't a farm-to-table restaurant either.
Right.
As long as they're serving other foods that are farm-to-table, you have. But if you have let's say, if you have avocados right now, they're not in season for us, so that's not going to be from here. Let's find out where it's from. You just have to be more aware of what you're eating.
Exactly, and
ask
astute,
questions.
And ask questions, exactly.
Get informed.
So how do we make dining out more environmentally friendly?
Well, farm to table.
Farm to table.
That would be a good one. Just finding out where they're sourcing their food from, that even if they're not considering themselves farm to table, if they are serving things that we do have here local, that they are purchasing it from us. And so we ask, we are the consumer, we're the paying customer. They're going to listen. They're going to listen to us, so that's what we need to do. There's lots of other things from ordering, sharing. Sharing that appetizer, sharing that meal. We were just talking about it a couple of minutes ago. There are some restaurants that serve family salad, yet everybody orders a different dish. And when you come to look,
oh my gosh,
you could feed a family of 20 for what you purchased amongst 4. So sharing, taking home, of course, the leftovers. Some people, Angie, you know about this more than I do.
Yeah.
This part, the containers.
About bringing your containers, and I've seen that a lot more, and I like that.
You bring your container?
I don't personally, but I've seen it, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I do ask for to-go containers all the time because I'm a petite person, so I don't want to eat the 1,000 calories they put in front of me. So I say, okay, I'm going to eat 1/4 of this, and sometimes I'll even ask for it at the beginning. And that way it really helps you not to overeat because, it looks delicious. You're in a social gathering, you're eating and having fun and maybe having a little bit of alcohol, which sometimes decreases your inhibitions, right? So we want to just make sure we're not overdoing it. So those containers work great even for portion control.
And I've noticed,
Also,
go
the
ahead.
takeout. So takeout is a big one. So when they do, they pack like a package of this of the napkins. They give you extra forks and extra spoons. If you're taking it home and you don't need it, don't take it with you. Chances are you're going to throw it out. Don't take the extra condiments if you don't need them. That's just waste. Why are we going to add all this to that landfill? There's just no purpose in it.
Great tips to prevent leaving food prints. And if you'd like to watch the entire episode and get more green tips, just download our Health Channel app.